Doing well. Great. Thanks for putting on this great conference.
Oh, well, it's we do it in increments, right? And I've got these checklists, and when I get to like the fourth check, the stress level drops, right? And then by the eighth check, I won't tell you what I'm doing. It's a lot of work, a lot of fun, but I think out of anything, we beat the numbers that we were expecting, as I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
But the quality of people in this room is just insane.
Yeah.
I just got a video of our investment management track. Those are all the guys with the capital that deal with a lot of these people, say go buy buildings. We had a record crowd, fully engaged,
Yeah.
asking questions and diving in. So
I think it's great. People, I think, are eager to get back out, and the industry needs change, and people recognize it, and it's happening.
And collaboration, and that's everybody throws that word around, but I'm telling you, what I see walking the halls in these sessions, violent competitors on the same stage, sharing information, helping each other.
Yeah.
Where else does that happen?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is that's a really good sign that if we can get past all those human barriers, get to what we need to do, things are going to happen. So,
Exactly.
anyways, Nitesh and Raul, really good to have you. What I want to do is give the audience a sense of who you are, individually, and then we're going to jump right into the company. So, Nitesh, why don't we start and just give a little background?
Sure. Hey, Jim, thanks for having me here. Great conference.
Thank you.
Agree with you in terms of the people, the content, and the information sharing. This sets the stage for the industry to transform, and it gets accelerated.
Very good.
So I'm Nitesh. I'm the Chief Product Officer here at View. Being in the technology side, was at Cisco for 17 years, and the last role I had there was to create a software platform that disrupted industry, starting with stadiums, venues, healthcare, and others. And
Wow.
here at View, I'm leading the platform infrastructure that makes the skin of the building come to life, and then create an infrastructure that creates a human-to-building interface.
So this goes beyond the windows.
It does.
Way beyond. And
Way
we'll talk about your acquisition, which I met them at a Tritium event 5-6 years ago, fell in love with the concept, the technology. They came to Realcomm and had a little bit of success, and then you guys gobbled them up.
That's correct.
Very cool. Raul, a little background?
Sure, Jim. So I grew up as a semiconductor guy. In fact, if you remember the old Motorola flip phones, I actually worked on those for my thesis work. So
I have a story for you when we're done about Motorola. You can get a kick out of it.
So semiconductors and LEDs, and then I really got into View and to real estate about 6 years ago. Okay. Actually, it was 6th anniversary on Monday.
Wow.
And what excited me about this was really, I candidly didn't know much about real estate at that point, but it was using technology and innovation, just being in Silicon Valley, to make a real difference in what is easily the largest asset class.
A little side question before we get into the pace of innovation and adoption. Semiconductor very fast.
Yes, Moore's Law.
You come here a little slower. What's your overall perspective on that?
Yeah, it's a great point. And I think you're right. Real estate generally has always had a slow pace of innovation. It gets a bad rap for it. And I think some of it is justifiable. You're putting up buildings for 50 years, so you can't rip things out every few years. Some of it, I think, can be improved quite a bit. And that's an incentives problem where you have, suppliers, construction people, developers, actual users, and they're all fairly disconnected and fragmented, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
And I think we've thought about that deeply, actually, and we'll talk more about it, but we've looked at how do we solve those and essentially remove friction so that one, product innovation needs to happen, but more importantly, once the products are there, people need to be able to adopt them and actually use them and have the right incentives.
Yep.
So I look at, my belief is innovation and technology are really about how do you make the right thing to do, the easy thing or the obvious thing to do.
Honestly, from my vantage point, I've been doing this a while, it's not the technology anymore. It's understanding your customer, the customer's ecosystem and buying infrastructure, right? Because you could be having the best thing in the world and you're talking to the wrong person for 3 years and they're telling you that they're the decision maker or they understand, and then all of a sudden you realize there's 5 other channels and investors. And to me, if I was giving advice to somebody coming into the industry as a young person, it's like, ask them what they do, what's the business model. Don't even talk about your product until you understand their business, because they just may not be able to make a decision on the best product in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you hit the nail on the head. We've actually seen that with, we've innovated actually as much on the go-to-market side of it, on who we talk to, as we have on the product.
Right.
And that's actually been a large driver of really getting people to appreciate the benefits and why it helps them,
Right.
and then to take action on it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
So let's talk about View. Big idea. It's actually been around. I think I saw the concept first time 20 years ago in London, right? Nothing like what you were doing. It was kind of like a little frosted. You click the button, and I said, "That's cool. I want one." And actually, we were redoing our home, and I went to LA and drove around the back ends of South Central.
Yep.
It was one company that did it, and it was just a little too expensive.
Yep.
I just wanted a couple windows done. But an incredible idea. And then the second time I think we saw it was in Korea.
Yeah.
Back in around the 2004, 2005 timeframe. And then when I saw it, and you guys have taken it to a whole nother level, but give us a little background.
Sure. So View's it's a 13 or 14-year-old company at this point.
40?
14.
No,
14.
2008. We started in 2008 in Silicon Valley. And, originally traditional venture funded during the green tech days. And it was really about using semiconductor nanofilms on glass to make windows just that much more energy efficient. And it started as an energy efficient idea. It very quickly evolved to where, when we built, so I'll step back actually. We looked at it and said, we did the hard technology development. We've got 1,300 patents.
Wow.
We built the product ourselves. This was very much how do we transform an industry? And part of it was, we said we have to build the full product to have the right performance, the right durability, to your point about assets in real estate last 50 years, the company needs to be there to back them, and really have also the right incentives. So we built a 1 million square foot factory. We did all the product development. It took us 3 years to do that. But then what we discovered is when we went out, we really, if I boil it down to a nutshell, we've got 3 big benefits as you look at a smart window. And just describing what a smart window is, some people may not know.
Right.
It's a mix of, the easy way to think of it is you take transition lenses and sunglasses,
Right.
but for buildings.
Right.
And with machine learning applied to it, that it automatically just adjusts. And you see some footage behind me playing so on.
They're stunning. I mean, looking at it as well as functionally.
Yeah.
So when you look at this, though, I mean, every window having an IP address is a very interesting idea. Every window having the capacity to be a wireless mesh network, and a conduit for a very complex network, really starts to change things, right?
Yep.
And then with your acquisition, of the network, you're going to be moving beyond Windows, right?
We already have. In fact, we look at broadly at everything we do as falling in one of 3 things. And the lens we use is either it needs to improve the experience of people inside a building. And you and I spend 90% of our time indoors.
Inside buildings.
So how do we improve people's experience? Or it needs to, and going beyond even improve health, or it needs to make a real difference to the energy footprint of the building, the carbon footprint. And actually, it doesn't have to be or, it's and. And then the third one is really, how can we make environments more interactive, responsive to us so they meet our needs without us having to even think about it?
So you want Windows network. What's next?
Yeah. So, Jim, if you look at when this thing got an IP address, it ate so many things. Now, a window having an IP address enables it to start consuming other things that we put in a space.
Yep.
So, obviously, window is tinting today. It can now double down as a display. It can then have sensors. And
Absolutely stunning. I mean, when I saw that, it's like, okay, energy sustainability, shut the windows, privacy, shut the windows.
Yep.
But now all of a sudden, have your meeting?
Yep.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Why wouldn't?
And then you take it a step further. These then becomes a node in a cloud architecture, and the cloud is the building.
Right.
And in that, it's the context, the applications that will change from the gestures that we use today for a day-to-day conversation. The spaces will interact with us.
The thing is, though, everybody needs Windows. And and we've had some of the lighting industry say, we're going to jump into the network business because everybody needs lights. But I think, the surrounding a building of windows and creating that first experience of looking in and being able to dim and then saying this is the beginning of a network is a pretty logical choice. Right?
Yeah.
So we only got a couple minutes. A couple big projects that are notable and people should be paying attention to?
Yeah, so we're now in about 100 million square feet. So we do offices, we do hospitals, airports, residential, now we're doing multifamily, universities. Some projects we've actually recently, New York, Google's new headquarters has View in it in St. John's Terminal. We also do renovation, so it's new buildings and renovations. We've done like our largest building.
Are all these up on your website where people can go and see all the projects?
Exactly.
Yeah, I would really encourage people to get up there. And I mean, these are massive projects, stunning architectural projects, high-profile projects.
Yeah.
And what that means is credibility, and you know, other people have had confidence in this concept.
And here, everybody's flying, right? So some of the most visible ones: San Francisco Airport, Dallas-Fort Worth, LaGuardia in New York.
The stuff at Lake Nona, and specifically the wave.
So Lake Nona, thank you for bringing that up. It's the biggest smart connected city in North America.
Yep.
We've got 11 buildings here already. We've got 30 more coming with View. And we're essentially both the window solution for it, but we're also part of their network, and to your point, to the fiber and kind of the data infrastructure for the city itself.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, you start with the windows, and all of a sudden you start spreading out, and the conversation gets very interesting.
Yeah,
That's right.
Guys, I apologize. We are out of town, but I think we'll be seeing you tomorrow.
Yes. looking forward to
General
it.
Session 2, Thursday morning.
Yep.
And really excited. We've got a couple guys from Tavistock, and I think we're going to have a great conversation. So, folks, make sure. Well, actually, you can't watch that. That's not going to be broadcast. But you know, loved having you on, and looking forward to seeing you the rest of the conference.
Thanks,
Right.
Jim.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us on.
All right.
Yeah.